It's my pleasure to announce the new head coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Randy Carlyle. It became obvious to me in the last week that we needed to make a coaching change if we wanted to try to salvage this season. And obviously I have a track record with Randy, worked for me in Anaheim, did a great job. We had success there. We intend to do that again. Been a difficult couple days for me, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be here today. I think this change is something our team needed. I think it was required, and I think we've got a guy behind the wheel that can get us where we need to go. I want to thank Ron Wilson for giving us his best as a coach, for doing a good job and working his tail off. And I'll talk more about that, but I'll let Randy answer any questions you have, and then we'll let Randy get on with the day.
What was your message to the players when you arrived at the hotel last night in Montreal?
Well, we met for close to an hour last night, and the reality was I sense that the hockey club is very, very tense right now. There's a lot of tension. I feel like the confidence level of the group is probably at a low where it's my responsibility and as a coaching and as a head coach and a coaching staff to pick these guys up. They got to feel a lot better about themselves than where they are today. I remember this hockey club playing against us in Anaheim, and the number one thing that they were able to prove to me as an opposing coach is they could skate. And that's what they have to get back to. They're a skating hockey club, and they got to get on their horse and start to skate. Now, there's various ways that we have to approach it and try to get them to do that, but first and foremost, they got to feel a lot better about themselves than what they are right now. And we're going to try and instill some confidence in them in a short period of time here.
Brian, you've talked about coaching indicators for letting a coach go. Did you see those in the past week or so?
Yes.
What were they?
Well, let's ask Randy his questions, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm happy to answer that question. Let's let Randy answer whatever question you have for him and then get back to work, and then I'm not going anywhere.
Randy, what's the first thing you do? Just basically tell guys to relax and enjoy themselves?
Well, again, it's easier said than done. There's a lot of pressure that's put on the professional athlete, and in the market in which we play in, expectations are high. And it's as simple as that. But just taking a look at how many of you people are here today, this is an indication of an everyday occurrence for these players and the scrutiny that takes place. But again, they're professional hockey players. They've made the NHL. They're at an elite level. Now we have to find a way to re-energize the group. It's not that they have lost their skills. It's just that we have to rekindle their spirit. And it's important for them to go and feel good about themselves. They have an opportunity now to show a new face, a first-time impression. And that's what we talked about. I'm new here, and let's make sure that you give me everything you've got, both on and off the ice. And there's going to be some adjustments that are going to be required.
Randy, is it realistic to think that you can make an impact with the few number of games that are left in terms of the results this season?
I think as a coach, you're always most concerned about the next one. And tonight, the next one is the most important game of the season. And that's the way we're going to prepare our group. It's not about anything else that's happening next week. It's about tonight. It's about our first shift. It's about our first period. It's about being first on the puck. It's about getting the first body check in, creating the first scoring chance, drawing the first penalty. All of those firsts have got to be front and center with our group, and that's what we're about. All the other stuff is all, in my mind, is window dressing at this time because our focus has to be on tonight's hockey game.
Randy, much of your there's been a lot of talk already about your previous relationship with Joffrey Lupul. Could you comment on that, please?
Well, Loops made a comment when we were in Anaheim previously about that he felt that I didn't use him correctly, and he was right. I made the mistake, and I said it at that time that we should have, and we made the mistake of not putting Joffrey Lupul at left wing in our top 6 grouping. But you have to remember that he came back off of some pretty dramatic back surgery. He had a number of infections, and we at one point thought he would never play again. And that's a mistake that we made, and I made, and I take responsibility for that. I've talked to Joffrey Lupul about it. That is water under the bridge. He's a top 6 forward for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's having a career year, and good for him.
Randy, how much notice did you get on this particular opportunity? Because it must have come together fairly quickly. Can you just go through the timeline?
Well, I originally got a call from Bob Murray on Wednesday afternoon. I was actually getting ready to go to the Anaheim Ducks. Were playing the Buffalo Sabres. And the phone call came from Bob Murray that they were seeking permission to talk to me and that he had allowed that. And that's really when the process started on Wednesday afternoon, late Wednesday afternoon in California time.
Hi, it's Rosie McMahon of Toronto Star. Was there ever any, inclination about saying no to this position? Doubts that were going through your mind, or your own, you also having to deal with the stresses of being in Toronto?
Well, there's always pressure that comes with being a head coach in the NHL. And the hockey part of it is one thing, but the media responsibility and component is another one. And in this market, it's huge. You have to understand that, and you have to accept that responsibility. And to say that you haven't thought about it, or I didn't think about it, I had consultation with my family. And to me, that's the most important thing in this decision was once my family had given me the green light and said, Dad, if you feel like doing this, you think this is the right thing for you to do, don't worry about us. We'll go where you go. And that really was the turning point for me.
Randy, how close have you been able to follow this team from afar this year? And then maybe in the larger picture, as a former Leaf, have you always sort of tracked the way this organization has gone?
Again, living in California, hockey starts at 4 o'clock. So my wife isn't really happy when the TV goes on and we're watching hockey till 10:30 at night. But lucky enough, I can afford 2 TVs. And the issue with that is that the hockey club I've watched from afar, and everybody has interest in the NHL on what's going on in Toronto because you guys make it exciting. You know, it's an exciting place to be. You're center stage, and you're part of the people that put it there. And to say that a kid from Ontario gets a second opportunity to represent the Toronto Maple Leafs, I feel very, very fortunate.